importance of the Holy Quran and the impact of the Holy Quran on our lives. But before we get to that, we first have a very interesting guest that has joined us, and that is because they've got a very interesting competition that they are running. So it's been all over social media. Many of the listeners, if not all the listeners, must have heard about this very exciting Albaraka competition that is currently running. So I don't know if you've entered the Albaraka Ramadan competition, where you do stand a chance to win a trip of a lifetime. Yeah, that is what it is. It's a trip of a lifetime. So if you haven't done so, or you require more information, then we have brother Waseem Rasool, and I've just come to find out as I've been speaking to him that it's actually Hafiz Waseem Rasool, the national business banker at Albaraka Bank, and he's joining us in the studio this morning. He's going to share with us more information about this exciting competition. Hafiz Waseem, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah so much for your time this morning. Jazakallah for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mulana, to you and the listeners of Radio Islam, and thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all ours. Now, you know, the listeners, those that have been hearing, those that know about the competition, they know exactly what we're talking about. But those that don't know, we're not going to waste too much time, because they, I'm sure, are very, very eager to listen and to find out what more about this competition that Albaraka Bank is currently hosting. And obviously, the most important part, not just the competition, what's the grand prize?
Well, Mulana, Alhamdulillah, this Ramadan, Albaraka Bank has decided to give back to the community. We will be giving one lucky winner 2 tickets to experience a journey of a lifetime, a fully all expenses paid Umrah for 2, with 5 days in Makkah and 5 days in Medina, with 5-star luxury accommodation. Yes, that's correct. This will be done via lucky draw. All you have to do to enter this competition is to download the Albaraka SA mobile banking app and complete one transaction if you are an existing client. If you are not an existing client, you can make your way through to any of our branches around the country, open up an account, download the Albaraka SA banking app, register on there, do a transaction, and you are automatically entered into the draw as well.
Alhamdulillah. So easy to do so, but I think the exciting part is the prize, the grand prize that is being given away, a free Umrah trip, 5 days in Makkah al-Mukarramah, 5 days in Medina al-Munawwara. Who could ever say no for such a wonderful prize? Now, thus far we understand that your people's lines and your people's branches have been flooded. So how has the response been thus far? Especially even looking at the Albaraka mobile app, the registration days. You had one on Friday, you had one on Saturday. Well, how has the response been thus far?
Alhamdulillah, Malana, we had an excellent response during the 2 days all around the country, in fact. And it is so pleasing to note that digital banking has been so widely embraced, not only by young individuals, but as well as seniors within the community. Everyone is taking up the opportunity to do digital banking, and with how the way things are changing and going away from cash, this has become so important. So Alhamdulillah, we had a fantastic turnout in those 2 days last week.
Alhamdulillah, that's so good to hear. Now, if a client, this is one of the questions which I'm sure many listeners will be wondering, is that if a client already has the Albaraka mobile banking app, then how can they still enter the competition? Can they still enter? How do they do so?
Gee, Malana, so yes, they can. All they need to do is complete one transaction during the course of Ramadan. So if you have an Albaraka SA app on your phone and you've been utilizing it already, all you have to do is just go on there, do one transaction, and you will automatically be entered into the competition. If you don't have a transactional account and you can't do an EFT, you can just go on there and you can download your Albaraka finance or investment statement, and your details automatically will be entered into the lucky draw as well. If you want to double your chances, you can by getting the partner that you want to join you on the trip to also download the app, register and transact on the app in order to increase your chances. And then for those individuals, again, who don't have an account with Albaraka Bank, we encourage them to come down to Albaraka Bank, basically speak to our consultants, see what's simple, convenient and Sharia compliant banking all about. We have products ranging from a minimum of 100 Rand on an investment to a minimum of 3 million, from 7 days up to 2 years. Transactional banking products with 0 monthly fees, which makes it so affordable for the everyday user. And so we encourage everyone to come down to our branches, give our consultants an opportunity to discuss our products and see if you would be willing to bank with Albaraka Bank.
Alhamdulillah, that is really, really interesting to hear, and hopefully this will all work out, especially for the listeners, for the bank as well. Hafiz Waseem, another question is that, people might be having other questions, other things that are on their mind. So if the listeners want to get into contact with the bank, should they have any further queries on the competition or any of the bank's products, the bank services, is there any numbers that you can share with us?
Gee, of course, Malana. So if you want to get in contact with us, you can call our customer services on 0860-225-786. I'll repeat that. It's 0860-225-786. Alternatively, you can visit our website on www.albaraka, that's albaraka.co.za. Alternatively, you can also visit any one of our branches in Overport, Kingsmead in Durban, Lenasia, Fordsburg and Lodium in Gauteng, and Athlone in Cape Town as well. And our consultants will gladly assist you with any of your requirements.
Okay, Jazakallah. So there you have it. Those are the branches, the different branches. There's in Lenasia, in Fordsburg, in Lodium. There's in Durban as well. There's in Cape Town as well. Brother Hafiz Waseem shared with us the number. I must say, Hafiz Ab, that, Radio Islam's listeners don't waste time. They're not waiting to call you. They know that you're here in the studio with us because that's what I said. And they've sent their questions already. I'm just seeing a question appear here. When they say do a transaction, do we have to do an online transaction?
So the mobile banking app is like any other mobile banking app. You can go on, you can do any transaction. So yes, you can go log into the app and you can do any transaction, as in do an EFT payment.
Right.
You can pull a statement for the account. Basically, any transactions that are done on the mobile banking app is automatically entered into the competition. So they don't have to worry about. So if you log into the app, you can either go choose your account, you can choose whether you want to pull a statement, whether you want to do an EFT, whether you want to set up a recurring payment, for example. Any of those things that are conducted by an individual is automatically entered into the competition.
Okay, so there you have it. Another question appearing. If you carry on like this, the questions will probably go through the entire hour.
Fantastic.
But okay, let's see this question here, right? I make monthly payments. Will that automatically get me into the draw?
That's correct. If the user is logging in to the app and doing those payments monthly, they will be entered into the draw. Just to note that it has to be conducted during the course of Ramadan. So until the last day of Ramadan, if you do any payments, you will be entered into the draw as well.
Okay, Jazakallah for that. If I understand it correctly, so it seems the main thing is you got to use the app.
You got to use the app. Correct.
Right.
I think, Malana, the thing is we're trying to push clients and advise them that the way that the world is moving is away from cash. It's all electronic banking. And that's why the app is becoming so important. So we're trying to encourage the community, encourage individuals that instead of utilizing cash, rather do EFTs, rather do transactions on the mobile banking app. We have the facilities in there. It's the only 100% Sharia compliant banking app in South Africa. So you have that opportunity there. So why not go and utilize it? And a small token of that to utilize it is to win an Umrah trip. So why not? We don't know whose du'as will come through this Ramadan, and maybe this might be the means of it. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. That's really, really interesting. So as Hafiz Waseem has explained, the main thing is you got to use the app. Whatever you're purchasing, any transaction you're doing on the app will qualify you an entry into the competition. As I said, can I transfer from one account into another account? I have two accounts.
That's correct. If you transfer from one account to another account, you will automatically be entered as well into the draw.
Okay. Jazakallah so much for that. The number again that we're going to give you, the number that if you have any questions, any queries with regards to this competition or how can you enter, etc., 0860-225-786. That is the right number,
that
right?
Is correct.
225-786-0860. That's the first four numbers. Okay, so it was very, very interesting to have Hafiz Waseem with us in the studio this morning, and that is Albaraka's competition. You can win a lucrative, a beautiful Umrah trip for yourself. 5 days in Makkah al-Mukarramah, 5 days in Madinah al-Munawwarah. It's definitely a competition you want to enter, a competition you want to win. So that brings us to the end of that. We'll go for a quick nasheed break, and on the other side of that we'll have Maulana Umar Sitole joining us, and the discussion will continue from there. Jazakumullah to Hafiz Waseem for joining us.
Jazakallah Maulana for having me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.